it's the narcissist's paradigm where, you know, they create the hellacious desolation of walking through the mental scape of, you know, you're well set up with money, but now, what about my love life? Why is that? Balance, balance. That's right. You know, you got to maintain a balance with everything. Moderation, I guess, right? No. Money is um yeah, it's just about balance. And that takes a certain, I was going to say education, but it's just a maintaining of a perception that leads to being able to maintain these balance. And so then what comes to mind is the positive and negative fact of everything. Everything has a positive and a negative to it. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's, you know, people associate it with a discomfort and a comfort, and it's like, no, not necessarily. I mean, you can be comfortable with the fact that there's both a positive and negative fact to everything. You look into it and say, well, yeah, but there's that story about the Buddhist story about the neighbors. So the neighbor keeps getting so overwhelmingly happy about, first the guy gets a horse, and then it's a free horse. The son brings home a free horse. It's because it's free. And the guy's like, oh God, I'm so happy for you. And the neighbor is like, no, we'll see, you know. Not really projecting on the scene. He just didn't get imbalanced with such happiness about the horse, because the next day his son was trying to train the horse and fell, broke his arm. And then the neighbor comes over and goes, oh, I am so sorry. You know, no wonder you were skeptical about the horse, or whatever is going on in his mind, but it's supposed to be a bummer scene. Well, guess what? The neighbor who had the horse and the son just looked at him and said, I don't know. First of all, it's like, I don't know about you either. He's going up and down and up and down. Can you just fucking just stand back and look at what's happening? It's just happening. Well, the next day, um, the military comes, and the family with the son with the broken arm receives a draft, says you have to fight in this war. And everybody knew that people were dying in that war and blah blah blah. And so, but because he had the broken arm, he couldn't go to war. He had to stay home, and he could still work on the farm. And guess what? The neighbor comes by and goes, "Oh my God!" And finally, the other neighbors just look at him and said, "Do you get the point of your existence here? You know, like how to manage your roller coaster ride right there, because something might happen one of these days, and you're going to have to maintain a even keel here, which is just your awareness. You know, can you stop blacking out?" Oh, it's been rough. You know, the narcissists they're apt to make you do all the work. My last video I'll put up right here that says, you know, talks about the irresponsibility. I don't even know if I made my point. Of it's just two totally different conversations. But the really good philosophers and people that have been before me and everybody else, you know, whoever I think I am, right? Whoever think you are, you don't know anything. Just like, you know, your own potential. It has nothing to do with me, by the way. So anyway, let's get back to yeah, watch out. You know, we have those people that swing up and down like that because not accepting the facts of things. Like, humans are complex. I mean, come on, we're not just animals, you know. We have a lot of biology that is just animal, but boy, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation and contemplate, say, well, wow, there's only so much time here, you know, to figure something out. And apparently, it's all about what's really going on. As far as our biology, like, okay, so is this live or Memorex? What's the use of it all? Does anybody, 'cause this is kids, 80% of you who might be watching, they're narcissists or whatever it is, it's not questioning their own existence. This is what's called examining, self-examination. Look, ask a question. This is supposed to happen when you're like 1 or 2 or 3. You're coming to and you're like, what is going on here? Very few of us are even slapping themselves in their face like that. Come on, learn how to do it. It's hard. It's hard. Thanks for listening and sitting through this with me. I forget what it's all about, to tell you the truth. Just bear with me as I'm just somebody who is on my level, you know, and if it's about that presence, you know, trying to be loved and be loved, I'm a success story. You know what I mean? I'm not, and the world can go to hell. You know, I have a lot of connection and guidance right now from spirit and the other worldly realm, or the other dimensions, which I've just lost a lot of people. They think I'm crazy, and it's like, no, I think you're crazy for thinking that you control any of this, and that you know you don't even think. I'm gonna leave you with this thought right now. Think of your biology, like how far it goes back, and how it's just a maze and a mesh now. It's like, oh yeah, right, whatever. It's just a massive, random joining of unioning of whatever, you know, that you are for some reason here to one time or another become realized of the experience that it's even happening. Like, question it, like um, that questioning is being attacked. That very curiosity, say like who Jesus was. Excuse me, who's that? Hi, look, there's Jesus. Hi, Jesus, how are you? Thank you. I knew. I'll be there soon. Just kidding. God, I should stop doing that and stop getting those dislikes. Just kidding. It has nothing to do with me, babes. You people are funny. But what do you expect? You know, the more the higher you get in your vibrational frequency, a lot of people are going to take it personally, especially narcissists. You know, very highly just broken people, man. You got to stay away from them because the analogy would go is like you just can't take them personally. First of all, just know what you have there. Handle it like hazardous waste. You set your boundaries. You don't even let them know that there's boundaries. I mean, of course, they're going to be feeling it. They'll be like, how do I get in there and be like an elephant in a china shop? Yeah. You know, they don't know the delicacies of true intelligence, which brings upon the delicacies of the things that people covet. You know, like how about just being able to relax under, like, you know, the peace that passeth all understanding, or the understanding that passeth all peace. I don't know. God, I can't speak. Not with Pluto going back into at the 29-degree Capricorn. Whoever has from at least 26 to, well, you pass over the cusp and it's like to 3 degrees, is going to be affected by this Pluto kind of going into the twilight zone again. And it's like I said in my last video, it's like, well, hi Satan, once again, you know, did you get your lesson about fear of what? Losing everything, which is like, there's a huge movement right now that says, I gotta slow my words down, you know, that says You don't own anything and you'll be happy. That's the hijacking service over there. That's the perception hijacker. It says, well, we're all one world order, and it's like, yeah, on the lower level, that's just you're trying to cram us through a cookie cutter, and it's really uncomfortable for a lot of people who are just dying away. Like we know better. We're like, no, actually, it's turning into morbidity out there because you are tossing the truth aside. So symmetry is going off, oh, being thrown off, and so is now geometry, and it's like, who is setting an example as, say, like a model? Who's the models out there? The norm, which is morbid. And now we're going to get back to a word from our sponsor, the dislikers, who, I'm sorry you've been set in such a terrible